Right, so economic development. So economic development is a unit in the city. It's the team that I work for. And I'm just going to tell you a little bit about what we do, what we offer the city, and how we can help. So going right the way back, everyone knows that there's 3 levels of government. So there's the federal government, so people like Safe Work Australia, the Tax Office, and the Department of Finance. Then obviously each of us live in a different state, so state government has a different role. Small Business Development Corporation is going to speak today. So Racing, Gaming and Liquor is going to speak today. Department of Main Roads, so they're state government organizations. Then local government. So operations, so the team that I was in previously, waste and cleaning, parks, development approvals, who can be speaking in a bit, and city events. So your local government is obviously the area in which you live or which you work, and our job is to make sure that the area in which you live and which you work functions, is vibrant, and it's a place where everyone wants to go. So that is our aim as a local government organization. So the Economic Development Unit of the City of Perth. So we're responsible for assisting with development and growth of the city's local economy. So you guys, if you have a business in the city, the business is about you, it's about your customers, it's about those visiting the city. So there's a lot more to it than just potentially you and a shop. So what do we focus on? So we focus on business development. So we help businesses. We help them with, we'll speak on that a little bit later, we help them with grants. We help them with access to people that they might not know who to talk to. Tourism and hospitality. So we have a specific section in our unit that basically deals with tourism and hospitality. Commercial properties. So if you're looking for someone in which to run your business, we can help you get into commercial properties. We also deal with the property managers on who they need to speak to from the city in order to help them out as well. So retail. Obviously the city is not just made up of commercial and residential. Retail play a big part, hospitality play a big part, education, international engagement. So we have sister cities throughout the world. So we have a specific team that deals directly with sister cities, with international delegations. So we're here to sell the City of Perth to the world. So as I said, we have a big role to play in the education sector. So unfortunately, Adam, who's not here, he's our education specialist. So he deals specifically with training organizations, with the unis, with the students on how to help them engage in the city. So life sciences, smart cities, and energy and resources. So we also have a specific branch in economic development, which is smart cities. Now, the guy who looks after that section, John Hawke, he's amazing. He has just got this amazing brain that's always looking at the future, always looking at technology and how it can help us give better data. So business development, so specifically what we're doing here today. So your friendly business development team acts as a direct link between businesses and the City of Perth. So that's why we have you all here today. So not only prospective businesses or already established businesses, but the City of Perth staff who will be able to take you through what you need to do. We have a wealth of knowledge in a very diverse range. So yeah, so hopefully what one of the technical officers from the city tells you today is something exactly that you needed. So business engagement, as I said earlier, we go out and we speak to businesses. So we kind of have a target that we speak to 10 businesses a week, and we're here, we're on the phone, we're engaging with people, we're helping them where they need the help. So business workshops, that's what we're doing today. This is one of the functions that we do. So business development initiatives, so navigating the approvals process and connecting stakeholders. So people who are interested in a certain sector, we help them touch base with those people that they need to speak to. So we're also part of the Small Business Friendly Charter. We are part of the Visit Perth website. So if you want to be known by people out there, you need to register on that website. We have our own social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, and some of the pictures on there, especially the early morning shots over the river and the city, are absolutely stunning. We help with grants. So Yvonne's going to speak on grants in a bit. And if you want to know what's happening in the city, you can register for our Inside City newsletter. So we've signed up with the Small Business Friendly Charter, which basically means that we've signed with the SBDC Development's Small Business Friendly Local Government Charter to show that we're committed to work with and support small businesses. So we offer enhanced customer service. So not only are we going to be on the phone, but we're also to help you through your processes. Reducing red tape. So local government, state government, and federal government, a lot of people just talk about the levels of red tape. So we're here to try and cut that down to you as much as possible. Making on-time payments. Having a process in place to handle disputes. So we have an ombudsman in the City of Perth who helps with disputes. So we're here to help. Having a process in place, introducing other activities to improve the operating environment for small businesses in their area. So we help get people in touch with other people. So that's what we're here for. The Visit Perth website. So register on that. If you're not on that already, I encourage you to register on it. So all the details are up there. And as I said, our social media channels are absolutely great for getting out there. Okay, so what I'd like to do now is I'll hand over to Yvonne. So Yvonne.
Hi everyone.
What's your role in the city?
I'm one of the business development officers. Now our job is to obviously, as Clint has said, connect businesses with information and opportunities to help you develop and grow your business. Now, this is all in the slides, so you don't have to worry about taking notes or anything, but make sure when you click on that web page, we'll actually send out a copy of these slides to make it a little bit easier for you. Click on that web page, subscribe to the updates for the page, so any grant programs that are released by the city, you can get a quick update and you check whether or not you're eligible to apply for it or not. Now, quick reality check. In Australia, obviously, no one's going to give you money to do your business. So it's not a cash flow solution, what the city does. What we provide is an opportunity for a contribution to funding towards a project that will help you develop and grow your business. So for instance, the island's looking to develop, looking to expand. Potentially you could apply for a business improvement grant, which will help you improve the facade of your building, or increase CCTV lighting. During COVID times, we actually helped businesses adapt to e-commerce, improve websites. God, a lot. Safer Spaces grant program we recently did. So right now we've got about 200 businesses who hopefully will receive an approval. Equates to about 1.7 million that will help businesses to contribute towards a project that will help them increase their business safety and security. Now, it's important to remember that the most important thing is businesses need to have a lease in the city. So that's a basic requirement. Now, for people who are interested in the grants, give us a shout afterwards and we'll talk a bit more about what your particular project might be. We've got a link on there too also for state government grants. Now, state government provide financial assistance for COVID recovery. Also, there's a grants finder, a couple of links there that business can look at. Cool, any questions? Can you respond? We can talk about it later. We'll move on. Talk about business newsletter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'd like to introduce you to Daniel and Ashley. So Ashley, what's your role in the city?
I'm a planning officer in development.
How long have you been working at the city for?
12 years.
Not quite as long as me, but close. Daniel, what's your role in the city?
So I'm a ground surveyor, so we do building compliance and building payments.
And how long have you been in the city for?
About 2 years.
And those two guys.
Alright. Okay, so if you want to operate a business in the city, we recommend that you do your due diligence first before signing any lease agreement. So make sure the use of the tenancy is right for you. What impact will it have on the surrounding businesses? Is the property heritage listed? Are you wanting to put any signage out? Is the property accessible? Can people with a disability make entry into your building? What building works would need to be undertaken prior to your opening? Do you have planning, building and health approvals in place, or have you already investigated what may be required for that? And will you need any state agency approvals?
So a couple of the steps to consider, obviously actually through the due diligence, but there's development approval, which is your planning, so making sure that what you are looking at will fit in with the scheme. Followed by a development approval, there's also building approvals, and in some cases there's some building works that need to be done within the building, or there's what we call a change of classification, which will trigger a few things, building permits, and in some cases an occupancy permit is required, especially where there's a change in use occurred. So those things there, just bear in mind that they do trigger compliance with current regulations, which may things that you need to consider when looking at older tenancies. Once we've got those approvals in place, then we go to the health approvals and possibly RGL if you're looking at liquor licensing. So they all kind of tie together, but that's probably the process.
Okay, so we sort of gave a bit of an overview of the types of uses, so you sort of understand, because sometimes it's actually easier if you're a retail business to maybe look to see if the tenancy is a retail business, because then there's less likely need for approvals of like a change of use or change of classification. So in this case, examples of retail: shop, massage parlours, hairdressers, barbershops, dining, among a cafe, restaurants. What else have we got? Entertainment, small bars, nightclubs, function spaces, mixed commercial, where you're looking at your convenience store or your fast food sort of outlets. Education too, which is quite a big one in the city at the moment. So all your secondary colleges, tertiary institutions, and healthcare being consulting rooms for, say, a dentist.
So there's a couple of examples of businesses that have gone through this process. The building we're in now, Global Hotel. So a couple of things that these guys needed to consider was it's a state heritage building. It was used to be used as an office, so now we can see it's more of a bar facility, and therefore the building code at the time called this building a class 5, is what we call an office space. So what needed to happen was there's a development approval in place to change the use of the space, so that process had to happen. There was external and internal modifications, there was signage that they're proposing, and of course the state heritage component needed to be done out. So once all that was resolved, then the next stage was the building permit phase. So we needed to, because there was a change in use, there was a requirement to comply with the current regulations or current codes or current BCA, which meant that a building like this would trigger new requirements such as access for disabilities, toilet upgrades to meet the numbers, and obviously the fire safety component was also considered. There's also commercial kitchen fit out as part of the works. Once all that approval was in place, the works have occurred, the owners then had to apply for an occupancy permit back at the city to finalise the building as a class 5 as an office, as well as a bar class 6. So, but now that we've got a bar, we need to register the business for the food. So that's where the food business registration comes in. Obviously, liquor licence is part of that.
This was an example which was a pretty straightforward one. Because it was Lululemon in Forest Place, most of that's already retail. So they came in, they wanted retail, straight in, no DAs required. Their signage complied with the city signs policy, so we do have exemptions in the signs policy. So if you meet that, don't need to make an application. And the fit out works for all the internal, the fit out was exempt. So it was a pretty straightforward application, and yeah, it got it out. I think they were operating within 3 months. So that's where we're saying it's a really good opportunity if you are looking to try and find one that's already suits your type of business.
this was a simple, change where commercial to a retail use. So because of that change of class again, development approval was required, so they had to start that process. In this case, there wasn't, the signage proposal was fitted in with the city's policy, so it didn't require a signage approval, so it was exempted. And the uses.
Do you want me to, I'll just cut in. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
so,
not familiar with that part.
in the city planning scheme, we have preferred uses, contemplated uses, and we also have sort of X uses. So a preferred use basically means that it definitely fits with the intent of the precinct that you're in, and therefore we shouldn't have an issue in getting that approved for you, obviously subject to still development approval. Contemplated uses, we then have to consider amenity within the area, and it may be that we just need to take it out for advertising to the adjoining property owners, and just sort of a few more aspects to tick off, so we may ask for some slightly more information. X uses basically is a no-go.
So in this case, there was no actual physical building works inside required. There was just moving some furniture inside, furniture that wasn't permanently fixed to the wall, so therefore it doesn't trigger a building permit, and therefore the business was able to furnish the tenancy without requiring a building permit process. And then from there is the business operating so the business was able to operate quite quickly because of that, because of not requiring those additional items. And there was a bit more of a cost saving there because the space fitted well with the business in mind. So, yeah.
Okay, and then we move on to sort of a temporary temporary approval, which was, for this case, was the ice cream factory. So whilst it's still an event, it was still changing the use of the actual site, which was a car park and a warehouse. So they still needed to go through the approval process to get a temporary change of use from planning. They also needed to get occupancy permit for a building side of things, and you could get temporary occupancies as well for that. And then obviously any event and health approvals that they are required. So we've got here time frame for applications up to 6 to 12 months in advance. That's just because there is quite a bit of work involved, and our events team need to be able to sort of assess that application. Okay.
So a couple of things to take away. First, contact us prior to signing any contract. We'll give you an idea of what you're planning to put into the city, and seeing if it's going to fit and what the clients will need from us. Consider the existing uses and approvals, so a bit of due diligence, making sure you've got a bit of history of the building and understanding of what we're proposing to go into. Spend some time to get the documents right. That's a key thing, because we get a number of applications that come in that are not completed properly, so therefore it goes back to you. We can't accept the application until, and that time frame doesn't start until we've got the full documentation. And be prepared for additional time for complex applications, and we are here to help with any of the businesses succeed as much as you do.
That's just, contact details for
Yeah,
us.
any questions for Ashley and Daniel?
Yeah, what about the airspace? Are you in charge of that as well?
So airspace in terms of like signage, when you sort
Yeah,
of
like maybe drones or flying or...
drones, no, that comes under CASA, which Carl will talk about from our activity approvals team. We do sort of have to look at airspace. If you are looking to put a sign up, say your building butts up against another building and maybe your sign's actually encroaching into their property area, we then would say you need to get property owner sort of permission for that. But yeah, for drones, that's definitely.
What is the average processing time for applications?
So for planning, we have statutory timeframes of 60 to 90 days, just depending on whether it's a sort of simple application or a complex application. Our KPIs are about 15 days. At the moment, we are a little bit short-staffed, so not quite meeting the 15 days, but we do certainly try our best to keep with that.
Is there a one-stop desk that we can approach for all the applications? Or do we have to go through so many desks? your first page,
Yep.
there's so many items that shall need to be considered by many departments. We
Yep.
have a one-stop shop. for
So
the-
if you contact the development approvals, so we've got planning and building there. We're pretty familiar with what's required. So if you started with planning or you started with building, we'd probably look at the site and go, oh, okay, let's then let you have a chat to building officers, health officers. So you are getting an all-in-one, but they are separate teams, so there are separate applications. But we will try our best to point you in the right direction and get all the information to you sort of in a collaborative sort of place.
We are both sitting in the same unit, and we are sitting, so we're quite familiar with the projects coming in. So most of the time, when an application comes in, it comes referred to either of us. So both teams are familiar with the projects. So that does help with the processing time. So it does. We try to speed it through as much as we can.
And there are additional timeframes. So planning, that's our KPIs and our timeframes, but there's also statutory timeframes.
So with us, the statutory timeframes are 10 days. And that starts when we have a full application in place. So that's why it's important to make sure the application is completed. At the moment, we're trying to turn those over quite quickly, especially with fit outs. If we get everything together, we can probably turn them around half that time. So we try our best to get those fit outs finished. So the 10 days is then mainly for large developments where there's a bit more time involved with assessments.
If you're operating in a heritage building and there are the property managers, who should be approached first to get planning if you have additional need to construct something extra out of the heritage buildings, an additional space, an additional canopy or something? Should we start planning or should we go to our property managers first and ask for it?
You probably want to go and chat to them first to find out whether you can do the works, but then certainly come to us before you sort of then go out to any builders or whatnot to find out whether you will need approval. And yeah, at least that way you've sort of got a whole approach on it.
Thank you very much, guys. Craig, what's your role at the City of Perth?
Who here has watched Faulty Towers? Anyone aware of Faulty Towers? I'm a rat catcher, so my official title, I'm an environmental health officer, also known as the Fun Police. We've got a few titles. Essentially, we're health surveyors. That's or health inspector. That's what we used to be known as a long time ago. So here in the city, our primary role is basically in regards to public health safety. So we look at a variety of different businesses and activities, everything from nightclubs to food restaurants, to pest control, whether that be rodents, mosquitoes, virus protection that we get involved with COVID, but also other immunisation programs. Sort of depends. Every local authority is slightly different, but yeah, basically our main focus is about public health and safety.
How long have you been at the City of Perth for?
My 5-year anniversary is just around the corner, and before that I was self-employed for about 10 years. And then was in local government before that. So you sort of come in and out of government. Yeah,
Thanks very much.
that's right.
Over to you.
Thank you very much. Right, hopefully. Okay. Before we start looking at this one, I just want to encapsulate exactly what the guys just said before. It is so important for you guys to come and talk to officers before you sign the dotted line on your lease. We see so many times people will get themselves in a position where they think that they've got their design in their head, they've got their vision of what they want, they've gone out and sourced a property and think that's the one for me, sign it, and then go, what do I need to do to get the approvals? Local government, I suppose most of our Western society is that it's a dichotomy of we don't want red tape, but we also want things to run smoothly. We've got an expectation that when we come to this premises, for example, that if there's an emergency, those exit doors are actually going to work. If there's an emergency, the fire hydrants are actually going to work. If we're here at night and something untoward happens, we can ring the police and they can get here easily, or the fire brigade, or they can hook into a fire emergency service. All those sort of things take effort. They don't just happen. And so that is red tape. So there's a combination of what local government does is to try and eliminate the unnecessary red tape, but also then to be able to say, these are the processes and it's not building blocks. These are the things that we need to ensure are present for your business or for the way that you build your actual structure or the way that you actually then run your business to make sure that you are safe and really that you're becoming a good neighbour. There's a few phrases that we use within the environmental health team that really talk about that essence of saying, what does it mean for you to be a good neighbour? You know, your business activity, you want to make an income and you want to be successful. Are you going to do that at the cost or the expense of someone else's safety or someone else's enjoyment? For example, we've got a nightclub that has got planning approval, it's got building approval, it's got health approval, they run at night, their building is not sufficient to contain the noise. So on a weekend, they run until 3, 4, 5 in the morning, and there's 1,000 odd residents that are around them, and they're not happy. You know, so much so that through RGL, the residents have actually put a formal complaint in. That's gone to SAT. There's a whole range of things that have gone wrong with this business. Now, the business is operating successfully. They're making good money. They're doing well. And we want that within an organisation within the City of Perth. But they're doing it at the expense of others. So it comes back to that, are they being a good neighbour? In this case, they're not. So part of our role is, I said, you know, I'm in jest saying the home police, but it really is that sort of idea of saying, just because you want to do something and it's good for your business, doesn't mean that it's actually good for the rest of the environment that are around you. How can we come to that balance? A really good point I think that Bonnie mentioned is about the grants that are available. So particularly, you know, if you want to make loud noise at the island, for example, you know, you want to do outdoor musicians, then maybe it might be wise to seek a grant of then, well, how can we get an acoustic consultant to come in to set up our speakers so that in our premises we can have good time, but outside of our premises we're not going to be negatively impacting those that happen to live right next door. Trying to find that right balance. How do you be a good neighbour as well as a good business person? All right, approvals, oh my goodness, they never end. Look, it's just the fact of life. You know, we want things organised, and in there being organisation and things running smoothly, there is a myriad of different applications that apply. Exactly, I think as Daniel had said, just come and have a chat. You know, we've got all sorts of information on the webpage that you can look at, whether that be food businesses, bars, hotels, skin penetration like we do, tattooists, hairdressers, pretty much any and most activities will need some sort of approval. So just come and have a chat and we can at least guide you in the right direction to be able to say, this is the sort of stuff that you're going to need, don't worry about that, this is what you're going to need here. It really is nothing more stressful for a business owner when you're ready to open your doors and you're going, oh my goodness, I can't get RGL approval, I don't have my liquor licence, oh my goodness, I'm organised my waste bins to be picked up, how am I going to get rid of my waste? Oh my goodness, hang on, now the council's trying to tell me that I haven't got the right occupancy permit. And rather than me, you know, I've already got on Facebook, I've already used the services from other agencies to be able to promote my business, I've got a big opening coming, and yet it's illegal for me to open my doors. You don't want to be in that sort of position. That isn't a win for anybody. So come and have a chat. That's all the approvals. All this stuff is in the handouts. I'm trying to keep it short and sweet. Aha, noise. Northbridge noise. Are people here actually involved in Northbridge area or not? I won't even talk about it then because the okay, that's it. Any questions for me? I will be, sorry, I'm here afterwards to take questions. I've got some business cards at the back as well, so if you do need to, you know, drop us an email or a call, yeah, we'll be here. Can I open it up again? Sorry, anyone have anything particular? Nope, done. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Guys, I'm going to take my economic development hat off and put my waste hat on because I was at that unit for 6 or so years, and I'm going to mainly focus today on containers for change. So this is one of the newer waste streams that's in the city at the moment. It's a statewide. It is in other states. It is in other states at the moment, but it's been in Western Australia since October 2020. Each year in WA, we use 1.3 billion drinking containers. So with containers for change, it's basically a deposit So when you buy your beverages, whether it be beer, whether it be soft drink, whether it be water, whatever it is, you now pay more for those containers. So the deposit is now built into the cost of what you purchase, and that's why when you take it back to an approved depot or outlet, you get your 10 cents back. So to give you a real life example, one of the first businesses we got on board is the Court Hotel. Now the Court Hotel is a very, very big venue. A lot of beverages are consumed at the Court Hotel during the week. They have between 15 and 20 240 litre bins collected full of beverage containers every single week. Now for a comparison, you can get anything from 300 to 350 for small containers. We've had a bin of over 500 containers in one bin of the small energy drinks. So you're looking at between 35 to 40 to even sometimes $50 per bin. So the City of Perth offers a free service. I'll give you some more information in a bit. We will provide you with as many bins as you need and a collection frequency that suits you. We prefer once a week is ideal for most businesses. And as I said, you can fit anything between 300 to 350 eligible containers in one 240 litre wheelie bin. So the standard wheelie bin that you have at home. We have our own depot. So the depot is located just at the bottom of Aberdeen Street at number 8. And there's also an RVM. So RVM means a reverse vending machine. So in the front of the Roche Street car park, just to the side of that, there's a machine where as long as you've registered for a scheme ID, you put your scheme ID in, which is connected to a bank account. You put those containers in, the money automatically goes towards your bank. So no, no money changes hands, it goes directly into your bank account. So as I said, the city has their own commercial service. So if you want to know a bit more information about that afterwards, I will let you know. But obviously the key for that is check for the 10-cent mark on the side of the container. So stuff like milk bottles, for example, is not part of the scheme. Stuff like cordial spirit bottles. So if you have a look behind the bar, everything on that top shelf, and I suppose the second shelf is not part of the containers for change scheme. Most fruit juices, small fruit juices, flavored milks, so your chocolate and your strawberry flavored milks, all plastic water bottles. Some bigger fruit juice bottles are not, all your Cokes, your Fantas, your Sprites, all beers, so all Australian beers and most overseas beers that have got that 10-cent mark, they're part of it. It's the best form of recycling that I can think of. We've got our own little workforce, so the homeless people in the City of Perth love the scheme because that's how they get their food, that's how they sometimes get some accommodation. They go around to the bins, they actually leave everything really, really neat and clean. We were a little bit worried when the scheme first came about that the city would be left in a mess, but thank goodness that has not eventuated, so we're actually very, very happy about that. And as I said, come and speak to me afterwards, I'll let you know. I'm going over to the island on Thursday to help them with the scheme. It's really easy. All you basically have to do is know how to separate containers and you can start making some money. Want to any information on containers for change that you guys like to know? I would like to hand over to Glenn.
Morning everyone. As I just explained to Glenn, currently the Community Safety Officer of the City of Perth. Within this, the Community Safety and Amenities Unit. The main aim of that unit is to works with community stakeholders to provide services that will assist in making Perth a safe place to be. Also supports the community coming into the city and enjoying the public spaces and also the city buildings. The City of Perth plays a pivotal role in community safety, but we can't do that alone. Our view is it requires a collaborative approach between a number of stakeholders, not just us, there's police, business owners, and other people that play a part in the city. So it's up to us to, all of us, to work together to achieve a safe city. The city's developed a Safe City Plan 2021 to 2025, And there are 5 focal areas which are identified up there: safe places, seeing and responding, engaged community, healthy headspace, and prepared community. As it explains up there, they are the destinations or the end achievements we're trying to reach. And there are a number of actions within the plan as to how we're going to get there. So how can you assist as a business owner within the city? So one of the first things we ask is that if you do observe something or see something happening, make sure you report it so someone gets to know about it, whether it be police or the City Watch Surveillance Centre, which I'll just cover off in a sec. Then your packages back there are some contact numbers. Obviously for police is 131 444 if you need to get police if there's antisocial behaviour or criminal behaviour occurring that impacts your business. Also, issues that may occur which are city issues. So for rangers particularly, one of their roles is to enforce or monitor and enforce breaches of local law. So if you've got someone sitting out on the footpath in front of your business, creating obstruction or creating an issue generally, and you're not happy about it or you don't want them there, you contact City Watch and they will get rangers to patrol the area and deal with that. Know where your closest CCTV camera is and its number, which will be the benefit of using City Watch. City of Perth has over 600 surveillance cameras around the city, CBD, East Perth, Northbridge. Each CCTV camera has its own specific number. So if you're setting up a business, just go outside, see if there's a CCTV camera there, and just make a note of the number. So that if you do have to call City Watch, you can just make reference to that number straight away, and they can focus on the camera immediately and just have a look and see what's going on. The City Watch Surveillance Centre is manned 24/7. The building is located in East Perth, so there's always someone there, people are monitoring what's going on around the city. It's a great service to have for the city, the city anyway, because it gives us a fair idea of what's going on. Even if we don't have people present, they can monitor the cameras and just see what's going on. If they need a response, send people there. Be safety and security aware in your own business. Your brochure also refers to creating safer spaces within your own businesses. So there's a wealth of information there. Look at your own business, whether you need to install alarms, your own CCTV, using there's a term called SEPTED, which is crime prevention through environmental design. Just making sure the front of your premises is not obscured by anything, that there's clear lines of sight, that people can see things happening. And again, if you want any more information about that, you can talk to the city at Waypole for advice on those sorts of things. Bear in mind that the city and Waypole do have a close relationship. Being a capital city, we work together quite closely to combat a lot of the issues that are occurring. Get to know your local safe city rangers. The city has 2 teams of rangers, patrol rangers, which do your traditional ranger work in vehicles, do vehicle patrols of the outer areas. And the central rangers, which is where I came from, conduct foot patrols of the CBD. They wear high-vis vests, so they're quite easy to spot. They do foot patrols, a number of responsibilities, monitoring and combating local law. A lot of customer service, dealing with business owners, responding to emergency service incidents where they need to do pedestrian control and also vehicle patrol. So there's a wide range of things we're involved in. But don't hesitate, if you see one walking past your business, don't hesitate to go out and engage. We also encourage the rangers to go and engage the businesses as well, just so they get to know the faces. So we do have quite a bit to do with the local business owners. So again, the Safe City Plan is for everyone to help make Perth a safe city. There's the reference over there. If you go onto the City of Perth website, again, there's a wealth of information on there about what's happening and how you guys can help yourselves and also help us make the city a safe place. Made mention about creating safer places. That's in there, the folder back there. And there's some quick guides, as I said, talks about creating safer spaces, etc. And also a number of numbers that to keep handy just in case you do need either contact City Watch or AA Police, or an extreme emergency 000. And that's it for me. Any questions? Fire away.
Carl, what's your role in the city?
My role is the coordinator for activity approval, so my team looks after everything that happens on what we class as the public realm, which is anything that is a road, footpath, parkway. So any business or organisation that would like to do something in the public realm comes through my team for approval.
How long have you been at the City of Perth for?
5 years and enjoying every moment of it.
Oh, that's awesome. So as I said, I'm really sorry I haven't got your slides in, so you're just going to have to wait.
That's all right. That's what I'm used to. Pretty much what I would like to just discuss is the type of permits and approvals that businesses can get. The first one is our events. Now events kind of cover everything from the public events to activations on the public realm or in the mall. So you might have seen small marquees being put up in the mall with organisations like Good Life promoting their businesses and things of that nature, and charity organisations. So it's more to get your name out there in a high profile area as the Murray Street Mall and Hay Street and Forest Place and things like that. And we really do vary the events in various sizes, right up to let's say the Christmas pageant and skyworks and things of that nature comes through my section for the approvals. So we manage with the organiser and the business owner on how to go through and promote the business in the public way. Okay. Other parts of that on the public realm is flyer distributions, as the city calls them. Other people know them as pamphlet distributions that are promoting. So there is a permit that you can be issued with that allows you to go out and distribute your promotional material. Now that costs $100 for the permit, and it normally allows you to do it for 10 days. Now they don't have to be consecutive days, so if it's every 2 days a week for the next 5 weeks, so it's not really a revenue stream for the city. It's about just the processing of the permit and making sure that what we allow doesn't overflow with everybody doing it, and just making sure that we are in control of what happens. Okay. The other one is also what we class as our public trading permit. Now this is for businesses to operate their business, their ongoing business, on the footpath or in the malls. Now, some cases, public trading would be for the mobile food truck vendors that are operating at the moment in the public realm outside of an event. So that's one sort. The other sort are the mobile personal carriers like Segway doing their tours, pedal power, pedal car, those things that operate a business that really utilise the city's assets require a permit. Now those sort of commercial businesses that utilise the public realm, they're around about $1,212 to be precise per annum. So when you break it down, it's not a lot of money. The other side of that is some of the retail stores in certain areas, and I have to stipulate certain areas, can show their wares on the footpath. So some bicycle shops are allowed to put their bicycles out on the footpath. We do that in conjunction to make sure it's safe and still accessible. There's one St Anne's Florist further past Northbridge or just towards Newcastle, allows to put their flowers out. So it's a promotion. We do those in those quiet areas. So if you're operating in the middle of the CBD, we won't do that. Okay, so while we're out there to certainly help and promote the business, we need to be ensuring that the public access through pedestrians and all that is managed. But we will assess that. So if you're having to think about it before you put in your application, again, as all the other officers have said, please give the activity approvals a call and we'll tell you yes or no. But if you do happen to put in your application and it's not successful, as in the initial assessment it is, we won't, it will then be refunded. So there's a $99 application fee there. So we're here to assist where possible, businesses and organisations to coexist on the public realm. We just need to make sure that it's done in a very safe manner. The other side is for any food businesses that operate outdoor dining, or as other people would know it as al fresco, on the footpath. My team looks after that as well. Now, since 2019, the outdoor dining has been free of charge. It used to be a fee associated with every square metre, but that's now been waived by the council and it is ongoing. So part of the bounce back or a continuation is if you're interested in operating, and you would see a lot of places around, because we have around about 220 food businesses that have been approved to actually operate on the footpath. So as long as it's a great set of guidelines that are on the Perth, City of Perth website, so by all means have a look. If for some reason you're not quite sure of something, again, there's telephone numbers there for you to call, speak to an officer, and we'll certainly go through and explain the situation. So from my team, which is part of the city events, certainly on the initial slide showed that city events, my team is part of that. So we're here to assist, to activate the city, to make it more welcoming. And certainly what we try and do is provide a concierge approach. So almost a one-stop shop for those sort of activities. So if you're interested in extending onto the public realm, by all means, come and speak to us. I have officers that will actually come out and speak to you. So to see what you can do, what you can't do. With the outdoor dining, once you put in an application, you have a temporary permit to operate pretty much straight away. So as long as you operate that within the guidelines, one of my compliance officers will come out, talk to the business owner, yourselves, just to ensure what you're doing is compliant. And once that gets ticked off, basically you get a permit for 3 years, free of charge. So yeah, I think that covers most of it. Any questions?
I have a question. You mentioned that businesses can set up an event in Murray Street Mall or Forest Chase and whatnot. Does that cost money?
It does. There is a $99 application fee initially. Then there is what we call venue hire. So most of our event sites, now there's about 5 event sites throughout the malls, and they range in cost based on the actual location and the size. Okay. So our main one, which is outside the old Combank site, but that costs a couple of $100. And again, with that, if it's for less than 5 hours, there's a 50% discount. Okay, so we believe the fees are reasonable. We go through a process of issuing permits, organising for any vehicles to get into the malls to drop off and set up and do things like that. So there are fees on the different locations, and then that's per day. Okay, so yeah, it's not a case of you can go and set up your shop for a 12-month period in the malls. There's certainly conditions over that, but as one-offs, and a lot of one-off organisations do that as a bit of a promotion, well worth it to get your business out there.
Chat with you afterwards.
By all means. Any other questions? Thank you very much.
Okay, so Carl, before you go, so I know we do small things like pamphlet distribution, for example, but we also do much bigger things. So say, for example, we want to bring in an international music act, and we want to have it on Supreme Court Gardens, and I want to have 10,000 people there. Take us through like a couple of the steps that we need to go through in order to put something big on like that.
Okay, very much along the event application line. So for any organisations, initially what we do is we ask you to speak to us to see if the land is available or the space is available on your particular day. Now, certainly with these big applications, as Clint is mentioning, they'll put their applications 6 to 12 months in advance, mainly to secure the site, number one, and then that gives them the confidence that they can then proceed in booking acts, booking the stages and things of that nature. So those major events take time, okay, and to have that initial approach is to find out whether, first of all, whether the land is available. The second one would be to know what your costs are. So again, through our event guidelines that are on, we have specific, what we call impact ratings for events. So you can imagine we can't charge a major music festival the same rate as we would for somebody who's having 50, 100 people on the reserve. So it's pretty much included in there, in the event guidelines. From that, once you're kind of comfortable, the city and my team will then discuss with the rest of the city, and that's talking about waste, that's talking about business development, with temporary building permits, environmental health. So we kind of bring that concierge approach where we will deal with the event organiser and then as a one-stop point for the city. From that, information from the other departments will come up and we will then let the event organiser know what are the requirements. So risk management plans, public liability, traffic management plans, things of that nature. And we give you a substantial time to get that together, to submit it in, and then it goes through to us, all these plans and documentation. We issue it to the other areas for their comment and recommendations, and then we issue a permit. Makes it all sound very simple, but there's a lot of work that goes into these major events. So, but yeah, and then it happens, and we'll come down during your bump in. We'll come down during the day when the event is happening, and we'll also speak to you afterwards, after the event, to see any improvements that can be made. We have many debriefs, and we'll bring in the other state agencies like the police, main roads, FISA, Public Transport Authority, things of that nature. We will organise the meetings for you. So you'll be there, but certainly we will do the legwork to bring everybody together of what we call stakeholders, and then we'll go and give you what your expectation or our expectation of you is, and that's to do with the noise and notification to businesses and residents and things of that nature. So as it was mentioned before, I think Craig mentioned that we try and work hand in hand with what somebody wants to do and with the business and residents that are already there, the bricks and mortar people. So we try and find the middle ground because not everybody will be happy, but the city is about activation, and that's what we want to do. So bring people into the city, businesses then thrive, it has a positive result. So that's what my team does, and yeah, we're very proactive in trying to make what people want to do happen.
And obviously the ravages of COVID have not done well for our events team. Unfortunately, they haven't had as many events as what we have in previous years. So Carl's team has done an absolutely cracking job getting events back into the City of Perth. Because yeah, we want you here. We really do.
Because the number of applications that we've got in at the moment, and we have around about 500 event applications that come in. So there's a large number. This number is at pre-COVID levels. So the confidence is coming back into the city. People have the confidence now to arrange major events. And everybody will see come this November, December, we're busy. We will be busy. So most of all our venues are full. So it's positive times ahead.
Thank you very much, Carl.
I work for Racing, Gaming and Macars, and we now fall under Department of Local Government, Sport and Cultural Industries as part of the pulling together of government departments. So we have lots of different departments, including local government as well. So today I'm here to talk to you about liquor licensing and to provide some guidance about how to apply for a liquor licence and who to come to. So I am the person, I work in the team which is the industry services. So we provide guidance to those applicants who don't know where to start, essentially. You know, you might be a restaurant or a small bar. So we sort of talk to you about what it is you're wanting to do, whether or not there's a specific licence type that you may need to apply for. Ultimately, it's up to you to decide. You're the best person to know what type of liquor licence you need. We do have a few different liquor licence types, so I'll go through that as well. So, just leave our contact details up here. So if you do need to talk to us, if you don't want to have a chat today, you can contact me on those details up there. But to be able to sell and supply liquor, it's regulated under the Liquor Control Act of 1988. So again, we're a little bit of the fun police as well, or what seems to be the fun police. I'll talk to you mainly about the permanent liquor licence types today. So there is a casino liquor licence club, so like your sporting clubs. You've got hotels, taverns, you've got liquor stores, nightclubs, occasional liquor licence there to do with the event styles. So part of the big events that we spoke about before. You might have like ice cream factory. Those are the types of occasional liquor licenses that you might want to run. A producer license, even though we're in the CBD, you think, oh, mainly, you know, we think about a winery as a producer license. We have distilleries here. They're becoming very popular. So those are the types of licenses you'd be looking for as a producer license. Restaurants, the bread and butter of our city, isn't it, really? Small bars becoming increasingly popular within Perth. And special facilities are those licence types that don't quite fit into the regular box. And wholesale licence. So preparing your liquor licence. So a couple of the presenters earlier spoke to you about having certain approvals in place for your building. So some of those are such things like your Section 40 and your Section 39 certificates. So they're like your planning approvals and also the type of business you want to carry on. So you might have a building and you want to have a restaurant in that particular building. You have to have your council approval to be able to carry out that type of business. So if, say, you only issued a restaurant to carry out a restaurant business, but you wanted to run something like a nightclub, it's no point in trying to apply to us for a nightclub if only the council has issued you a restaurant to activate a restaurant business. Some of the biggest issues we find when people are lodging applications is who is the applicant. Often you'll want to rush ahead and go, okay, I need to get this liquor licence done. So you put your name down, or you might go, oh, I'm part of a trust. It's the trust running the business, and you put the trust down. When it comes to liquor licensing, I guess the applicant is the person who's going to be responsible for that licence. And who's responsible? It's the person receiving the money for that licence. So it can be an individual, it can be a partnership. Often it is a company, a proprietary limited company. So it's those directors that are going to be responsible. So if you're not sure, give us a call or speak to your accountant before applying to say, well, who is going to be responsible? And perhaps when lodging your application, provide us with a copy of your asset extract. That can be really helpful. A lot of, I guess, smaller business operators don't often know how their business is structured. That's the first start, I think, for applying, is knowing who is applying. Public interest assessments. So we have licences, some are very high risk, some are low risk. So the low risk applications, say restaurants, and now small bars, which is exciting. So I think before you used to have to provide big, long public interest. And you think, what is that? Public interest is something that you need to provide to us to convince us that you've looked at every aspect of how your business is going to impact your locality. What is your locality? It's people around you, again, your neighbours. So you're looking at things like sound, you're looking at security. How is having your, again, like with the nightclub, how are you going to mitigate your impact on who's around you? And the thing with alcohol, it's a dangerous substance and it can impact people very negatively. Now, although we all want to know and do good in our business, and it probably plays a very big part in a lot of people's businesses, it does have an impact. And when you're putting your application through, you do need to address, even though you think there's no negative impacts, you do need to show that you have looked at that. And often you don't have control about how you can mitigate those circumstances. The important part is acknowledging. Now, on our website, we have lots of different links to statistics. So we're only really talking, when I'm talking about this kind of information, it's mainly the high risks, like your hotels, your packaged liquors, like your liquor stores, and your nightclubs. So those are the times where you really need to reach out to the people surrounding you, look at those community groups that you could be impacting, get the support as well. So it's one thing to say, my business is going to be great, it's going to provide X, Y, Z to the community and tourism. You need to back that up with evidence. So having support letters, what we call submission 5, section 5 submissions, your local council often, your local members and neighbours. So get those in, it'll take time, but it pays off in dividends towards the end when it comes to the decision makers. Another big impact which you need to be aware of, so who has or who is looking for a liquor licence, or what kind of business do you guys have? Will you be involving liquor? Any restaurants, small bars? Well, if you do look at having it in the future. Some of the other impacts is there's lots of restrictions around packaged liquor now. So if you are wanting to sell packaged liquor, is there somebody 5 k's down the road that can the public's needs be met already by that? Just because you want to run a business selling liquor, you need to look around you. So it's all about density, that we don't sort of allow too many liquor, packaged liquor businesses in a clustered spot. Now, RGL has gone online, part of, like all businesses. So if you do wish to apply for a liquor licence, you need to create an account, and we have a really comprehensive website about how to apply. Please look at the guidelines on how to lodge your application. It basically takes you through step by step. In the event that you're not able to do that, you can always just give us a call on the contact details that I put up previously, and they'll be in your slides as well. Determining a liquor application. After you've been granted a liquor application, there'll be conditions put on there. So guiding you on how you need to carry out your trade. Now, often a lot of that is bound within the legislation. There are times where you can ask to trade outside of those specific conditions. You'll need to lodge a certain application to do that, and we'll consider that. If an application is refused, you do have an option to appeal that. That's through the Liquor Commission, and then failing that, you can go through to the Supreme Court. Now, does anybody have any questions? Okay, so we're just located over at 140 William Street. If you have any friends or any other businesses that you work with, please send them our way. Again, my name's Melissa, and I'm part of the Industry Services team of Racing, Gaming and Liquor. Thank you.
CCIWA stands for, excuse me, the Chamber of Commerce and Industry in Western Australia, and we are the peak body. We're completely independent, and we represent all businesses in WA.
So what's your role at CCRWA?
So my role is an account advisor and I work in the member engagement team.
How long have you been there for?
Oh, nearly 3 months.
So you're full bottle?
Full bottle, and I came from another industry body before that. Yeah.
Well, thank you. I'll hand it over
Thank
to you.
you. Cheers. So today I just wanted to run you through a little bit about CCIWA and who we are and what that actually means for you as a business in the City of Perth. So there's a lot of words up there, but as I said, we are the peak body representing all businesses. So it doesn't matter if you're a sole trader or you're Rio Tinto, we represent everything. Sound good? I just wanted to give you a little bit of background on some of the work that we do and some of the recent achievements. So we do a lot of work on behalf of our members, developing and advocating policies that are good for business. So our vision is to make WA the best place to live and to do work. And so hence why we need all our members' input to be able to translate that into advocacy work on your behalf. So there's just some of the recent achievements that you can have a bit of a read through, and it's also in your slides as well. But we definitely need the voice of our members, and that's why we represent everyone. So some of the services that we offer, I can't go into all of them because we simply don't have enough time. CCI do offer a huge broad range, but a couple of the ones that I wanted to discuss with you briefly this morning is the Employee Relations Advice Centre, which is known as ERAC. And about 70% of the members that we currently have joined and continue to stay with us because of this service. Essentially what it is we have qualified professionals on staff here in our Perth office, and they're able to talk you through anything to do with employee matters. So we work for the employer, not the employee. So you'll be able to contact them and talk about things like, I've got queries around award rates with public holidays, overtime, shift penalties, apprentice and traineeship entitlements. That's a service that's available and it's all unlimited. So we don't say you can only call twice a month or anything like that. Unlimited, the amount of times that you want to call up and get advice. Some of the things that our members are facing at the moment, so some of the most common threads that we're seeing come through is obviously around managing mental health in the workplace. Still a lot of COVID-19 inquiries that come through, particularly around vaccinations, what to do if I have a worker and their child's school has closed. Can I ask people to have proof of vaccination to come onto our premises or to allow contractors on? All different types of inquiries like that. Public holidays, managing leave, long-term absences, just some of the common threads that we're seeing coming through. You don't have to raise your hand or anything, but maybe just have a think about, are these some of the things that would impact your business at the moment or moving forward into the future? And I guess the really big draw card with this is that it's all on Perth time. So our office is just in the KPMG building on the terrace, so you're not having to think about, looking at different time slots and going, oh, if I call now, what time is that in Sydney? Because all our staff are here in Perth, and they're all qualified. So the person who heads up this team is actually an employment relations lawyer by trade, and then they've assembled a really strong qualified team, and they're versed across state and national legislation in all these areas. An extension of this is a workplace relations service that's on offer, but this is fee for service. So if you have a matter in your workplace that you go, you know what, it's bigger than a couple of phone calls and we're going to have to now engage perhaps legal representation, we have all that available in-house as well. So we've got all the IR lawyers and safety and risk professionals on staff that you'll be able to sit down with, have that conversation, and then see if it needs to be taken further. And that could be, like we said, legal representation. It could be you might need a mediator to look at EBA agreements within your workplace, things like that. That's all available to you at fee for service, but heavily discounted for our members. We also have Apprenticeship Support Australia, which we actually operate and administer on behalf of the government. So just having a think about your future pipeline of talent if you are looking to take on apprentices, traineeships, and we also have a program called Work Integrated Learning, whereby we have an agreement with one of the universities, I believe it's Curtin, and we can actually place penultimate year students in your workplace, and they'll do up to 100 hours. So they do that in exchange for course credit, so there's no cost to you. And then we also have, obviously, Apprenticeship Support Australia, where our team will essentially do the recruitment legwork for you. So you can concentrate on your business, they'll concentrate on helping you find and source and onboard that apprentice, and then be your point of contact moving forward over the lifetime of that apprentice. And again, complimentary service. Sounds pretty good? So yeah, there's a lot of different things that are included in the different types of membership. Some of the other ones that we put on are events and training. So if you do need to, attend a course for yourself or your employees about a whole different range of topics, it could be things like up here, alcohol and other drugs in the workplace, motivating employees, building code of compliance, so many different things that we cover, because again, we've got all those experts and professionals in-house to run them. And a lot of events, so if you are looking for networking events, there are some that you can come along to. I see Peter, isn't it? Yeah, just came along to our Justin Langer lunch, which I personally think was fantastic. Yeah, I'm a big cricket fan, so it was great for me to go along to, but just this year alone we've hosted the Prime Minister, the Federal Treasurer and Justin Langer. Those are obviously some really big keynote events, and then we also have smaller networking ones available in-house as well. For example, our Chief Economist hosted the post-state budget breakdown, so he went into the budget lockdown, went straight from there to our office and presented an update. Like I said in the beginning, we are a completely independent body, so all the advice that we give and the outlooks are all independent, which is why we've proved quite popular for people. You'll also have access to a business toolbox for our members, which essentially is, like it sounds, a toolbox for your business. So you've got guides, you've got templates, you've got checklists, all these kind of things are in there. Another thing that's included in there is a tool called Grant Finder. So you can log in and have access to lots of different grants that might be applicable for your business. So you'll be able to find those. And I believe your next speaker from the Small Business Corp will actually talk about workshops and things that they run to help you with those tendering processes. But we've got the Grant Finder that you can log into and go, I'm looking for grants and where can I find them? And what's available to me. Also, the different types of topics that you've got available in your toolbox. There's obviously a lot of different articles, a lot of content in there. It is expert reviewed, it comes out, it's very timely. Again, because we've got those people in-house, and they are really designed for those small to medium-sized enterprises. So, like City of Perth, we're here to make business succeed, because going back to who we are, we're here to make WA the best place to live and to do business. We've also got a dedicated COVID-19 support site on our website. You're actually able to go into that and check it out. You don't have to be a member, so I would encourage everyone to go in there and have a look at that, because it's proving really, really popular still. Because as we know, there's still things that are sort of changing with COVID. The landscape isn't entirely set yet. So definitely jump on and have a look at that. Members also have access to our member hub. Remember I said we're just in the KPMG building. So the member hub is there, for example, if you want to have a meeting with someone or you need to get some work done, you can actually come up and use that member hub, plug in your laptop and whatnot, work there, there's kitchen facilities and all of that available. So it's nice if you go, you know what, just need to get an hour or two of work done, or I want to take a meeting, don't really want to do it in my cafe, it's a bit busy or whatnot, you can use that member hub, which is available to you. But the reason we're here today to let you know all about this, I don't want to sell you anything, because City of Perth has very kindly entered into an agreement with CCIWA. So as part of the second phase of the Perth Bounce Back, we have a partnership whereby City of Perth have 200 essential memberships available to City of Perth businesses, which are complimentary. So that sounds pretty good. So you'll get a 6-month essential membership where you'll get access to all of those things totally free, which is fantastic. But like I said, there's only 200 available. The eligibility for this is your business has to have up to 29 full-time equivalent staff. So if you've got 40 full-time equivalent, you wouldn't qualify for the complimentary membership, but you still can come and have a chat to us about other types of membership. So an essential membership is designed for businesses up to 29 FTE. And that's available, like I said, through the City of Perth partnership. You can't already be a member of CCIWA or have been a member in the last 6 months. So this partnership is available to you if you sign up before 8th of April 2023. And your 6 months will begin from when you sign up. Does that make sense? So if you sign up on 1st of February next year, you've got 6 months from the 1st of February. Or if you sign up today, you've got 6 months from today of that complimentary. We don't take any payment details when you activate your membership, so you don't have to worry that in 6 months they've got my credit card details and they're going to charge me. No, we don't do that. It's simply you pop your details in and you activate a City of Perth membership. Sound pretty good? I think it's a really, really good deal. But that essential membership is one type of membership that CCIWA offer, and there's a lot of other services included in that essential membership, but I just don't want to sort of overwhelm everyone today. If your business is bigger than 29 FTE at the moment, we do have other memberships that are designed for those size businesses, so we can definitely have a chat about those. But just bear in mind, there's a lot of other things available to you. Sound good? So our contact details are on your slide packs, but I've also brought in a whole bunch of flyers specifically about the City of Perth partnership offering. There's a QR code that you can scan on that, and that'll just take you through for you to activate your complimentary membership. And there's business cards as well. So if you do want to call up and have a chat or go for a coffee and talk about the City of Perth partnership or a different type of membership or something in particular. So you might say, look, I want to sit down and talk to someone at Apprenticeships Australia, or I want to talk to someone about doing some policy and advocacy work because these are the issues I'm facing as a business owner. We'll just tee that up for you and you can do that. Any questions at this point? I know it's sort of a lot of information, but really just wanted to highlight that partnership that we have at the moment and to make you aware that you're eligible for that complimentary membership.
Now, what is your role?
So I work in our outreach team at Small Business Development Corporation. So I can speak to lots of different groups of people and let you know about all the services that are available to assist small business in WA.
How long have you been there for?
I'm the other end of the spectrum. I've been at SBDC for 18 years.
Wow.
So I've had lots of different roles. So I've been helping small business for a long time and really, encourage people to try and use the services that we've got on offer here. Okay, look, I won't take a lot of your time because you've all had a lot of information this morning, but there's a few things that I just wanted to point out. And I know Yvonne mentioned the grants and the link that was up there, and I don't actually have a slide on that at the moment, but I do think it's really important that I do address that initially. So in response to COVID, the state government has implemented a number of grants that are available for existing small businesses. We have a tenant rent relief grant, and we also have a small business hardship grant. So if you are an existing business, you'll have to have a minimum turnover of $50,000 to be able to apply for these grants, you have to be able to demonstrate that you have achieved or you have experienced a decline in turnover from the 1st of January to 30th of April compared to an equivalent period last year. Okay? The minimum turnover decline has to be 30%. And the funding that you can receive through the tenant rent relief grant is $3,000. It's a flat rate, whereas the small business hardship grant, it is a tiered grant, so it's based on the number of employees that you have, as well as the amount that your turnover has declined. I'm happy to have a chat to you about that in more detail after the event, if you are interested in knowing some more information. Applications close on the 30th of June for those, so I do encourage you, if you do qualify, please put in an application. We are trying to encourage as many businesses as we can to apply for those grants. So in terms of the Small Business Development Corporation, we've been around since 1984. We are a state government department. So unlike our CCIWA and Business Station, we do have a Minister for Small Business that we report to, and we only, unlike our friends at Liquor Licensing, we actually only look after small business. So we actually don't fall under a big government department. If you ring and you speak to SBDC, you're actually speaking to people that work, live and breathe small business. We are the primary provider of information, advice and guidance to small business in WA. So we don't just have services for businesses in the metro area, but we also have outreach services out in the regional areas as well. So in terms of our services, our bread and butter is our information and advice to business. It's a free service. So please, if you have any questions, you'd like to speak to an experienced business advisor, at the SBDC we have a team of people who have business backgrounds themselves. They've either had businesses themselves in the past, or we have a number of business advisors that still are experienced in working in their own businesses as well. They cover a broad range of industries as well, so they know what it's like when you're going through business and you're in business and being through that whole business journey themselves. We have, I've got some brochures on the table there that gives you some of our information in terms of our website. Really encourage you to have a look at that. We have a live chat function on there, so if you need to speak to an advisor, and you know, sometimes it's hard when you want to pick the phone up and you're in the middle of assisting someone, you can jump on there and you can have a chat to one of our people over the live chat function, or you can ring and speak to somebody over the phone, 133 140. We are just in the 140 William Street building here as well. We do ask that you do ring and speak to the advisors beforehand, but you can actually, some of them, given what's happening with COVID, it's up to the individual advisor whether they will have that face-to-face appointment with people at the moment. We have a business license finder, so we've spoken a lot about licenses today. So we actually have a database that sits at SBDC on our website that covers all the licenses that you need, not just your ones that you might need with the City of Perth, but if there's any industry-specific licenses as well that you may require, you can find out through our business license finder there. And we also have a team that looks after the research and advocacy side of things. So I know Clint mentioned earlier about the Small Business Friendly program that the City of Perth is involved. That's the Small Business Development Corporation program, where we try and encourage local governments to put in place things that are going to have an impact and make a real difference to small businesses. So moving on, in terms of our business advisory services, I just want to point out this commercial tenancy one at the top. So our our advisory team covers a whole range of services and experiences, and they can talk to you about all different matters relating to your business. But we do have a team within our advisory team that just looks after commercial tenancy matters. And I think hopefully one of the messages you might take away from today is please don't sign on the dotted line until you've sought that advice. So you obviously can get advice from people through the City of Perth, but at SBDC you can also see our advisors that look after commercial tenancy. It's a free service again, so please give us a call. They can assist you with anything. Read through your lease before you sign it. If there's anything that you're not sure about with that, please make sure that you seek that correct advice. And it's the same if you find that you are going through the process of renegotiating your lease or you have a dispute with your landlord, our advisors are there to assist you with that as well. Okay, and then our dispute resolution service. So we have a team within SBDC. Again, it's a free service where it's business to, if you have a business to business or business to government dispute, then our team can assist with that. They are independent, our case managers, where they try and work with both parties to resolve the dispute. If it doesn't happen that you can resolve the dispute through that process with our case managers, we do offer a subsidised mediation service as well, where we bring an external mediator in and both parties are able to sit down. We actually had one that was happening in our office yesterday. It was going all day, where hopefully both parties are able to nut out some sort of agreement and they can move forward with the business relationship intact and with a resolution to resolve that dispute without having to go through the SAT, without having to go through the court process, which I think is a real benefit to small business, because that can be a real drain on resources of a small business, and also just that whole process is also, it can be quite take away from you doing what you do in your business every day. So we do offer a range of workshops, and Anouk did touch on some of that, you know, we've got a whole lot of workshops on tendering and contracting, but we do more than that. We've got about, I think there's between 80 and 100 different topics that we do. When you're first starting out in business, I always encourage people to look at the foundation skills workshops, because they're the ones where you build your foundation skills in your workshops so you can build a good foundation for your business. So really encourage people to do those. We run a starting a business workshop every week. It's a free one. All of our other workshops are only $20. Now, unlike CCIWA, it doesn't matter whether you're a member or not a member. There's no differentiation. We don't have a membership base. We basically offer this to all small businesses. Some people might use us in the initial stages and then might wait you know, a few years before they access our services, but we are here to support small business. So we run, most of them are online at the moment, so you can access those from the comfort of your own home, and we will look, as everything changes with COVID, about looking at that, maybe doing some face-to-face ones down the track as well. So in terms of our workshops, we actually have a special offer for people here today, where if you go onto our workshop schedule, you can put in the City of Perth code there, and that's until the 10th of June that code's valid for. So I think you can do up to 2 workshops. So if you have a look, City of Perth in capitals, and you can go along to book your workshop and attend those free of charge. Okay, and then, I always like to put this one up here, our Facebook group. So we have this Facebook group. I'm a small business owner in Western Australia. It will be in the resource pack. We have over 11,000 people in the group that are involved in small business in Western Australia. And it's an online network, I guess, for small business operators to engage with other small business operators in Western Australia. We just administer it, so we are really there as making sure that people are doing the right thing, but we try to let businesses interact with other businesses. So even if you don't want to post questions or you don't want to answer questions, it's a great forum to go onto and see what other people are discussing, search what other discussions are happening. I always, when I talk about this one, use the example of when I talk to businesses that are starting up, which record keeping software am I going to use? I don't know which one. There's so many choices out there. Put that question in the chat, in the forum, and have a look at the past discussions about what's happened with those, and you'll find all these responses that have come up on there about that, and you can learn about, oh, maybe I was thinking about this program, but maybe I'll think about this one now. So we don't allow people to advertise, so that's what's really different about some maybe other local business groups. I know there's lots of business Facebook groups out there, so you're not going to get bombarded with people promoting themselves. You will get business discussions happening on there. And then our blog. So on our website, I really like the blog that we've got up there. So there's lots of great stories. We've got things on there at the moment where it's in preparation for end of financial year. We also have a section which is small business stories. So if you want to get inspiration from what other business owners have done, have a look at those. There's some really great information and stories on there about what other businesses have experienced as they've gone through COVID and how they came out the other side, as well as a focus on some regional businesses is what we've done recently as well. And our details are up there, I've got the brochures there, and I'm happy to chat afterwards as well, so thank you for your time.
Thanks very much, Janelle.
I am a project events officer.
How long have you been at Business Search for?
Oh, about a week and a half.
Right.
I have participated in the program, so I'm not completely green.
Yeah.
And what's your role for Business Station?
I'm one of the digital business advisors. I've been there for 3 months now, so very short as well. But we've both been in business for a long time and we've been in the trenches. So yeah.
Thank you guys. Over to you.
Cheers, thank you. Well, thanks for hanging around to listen to us at the end. As Bob said, he's one of the advisors at Business Station, and I might get you to give an example of someone who's done really well that you've worked with.
Sure.
Yeah. So we do a bunch of things at Business Station. So we run a bunch of programs. Digital solutions is what we're going to be talking about today. We've got entrepreneurship facilities. We are a local government advisory. We've got 3 different business incubators around Perth. We've got one in Gosnells, in Joondalup, and Wanneroo. We've got a bunch of learning things that we do. The grassroots businesswomen just won the Telstra Business Awards for Accelerating Women. So that's really exciting. It's an amazing program. And our vision is to see business owners be successful, our individuals flourish, and from that having communities grow. Very much to everything that everybody has said here is that when business does well, then everybody does well. Okay, so Digital Solutions is a federally funded program, and it provides low cost, let me stop over here so you can see, low cost, high quality advisory services to small businesses. Now these services are delivered through one-on-one advisory sessions, group workshops and interactive webinars. So it's a 7-hour package that we run with our Digital Solutions mentorship, and as I said, highly qualified, experienced business advisors with a variety of skill sets across a variety of industries. QR code. So if you might be interested in this, the QR code. It is in the pack of information that you have in your notes, but I'll put it up again at the end. So the Digital Solutions program costs $44, and it gives you that 7 hours of one-on-one contact and webinars with an advisor. So talking about advisors, let me just give you some examples of some of the people that we do have here in Western Australia. In a minute. So these are some of the areas that they cover. So digital marketing, website development, web design, UX and UI. You know what that is? Okay, cool. Don't ask us about those, but ask
User
the other.
experience and interface.
Okay, cool. I learned something. PR and copywriting, e-commerce or Shopify, so if you want to sell things from your website, business development, marketing strategy, small business tools such as your customer relationship management software, accounting software, your SEM or your SEO, and cyber security, which is really, really important these days, right? Okay, cool. So back to examples of the people that we do have here in Perth. This is Sandra Tricoli. She assists business owners to grow their business by providing skills, knowledge and experience across marketing, business planning and financial planning, so financial management. So she's one of really popular advisors here in Perth. Christy Bailey, she is a business and marketing strategist with a passion for tourism. So if your business in any way connects to tourism, she would be a great person to talk to. Cassia McNaught, so she's a passionate digital marketing and communications consultant with over 14 years of experience in marketing with digital, traditional media and also outdoor media. So if you want to talk to somebody about marketing, Cassia is your girl. Oh, who's this random bloke?
I thought you took that one out.
No, I didn't take this one out. So Bob, do you want to talk about what you do?
Sure. So I'm part of the OPC as an advisor, and what I do is I help businesses figure out basically how to get better online. Me and 99 others, I think we have about 100 advisors at the moment. So there's a lot of people that can help you figure out where to start, what to build your website, so what sort of point of sale you want to have, how you integrate it with your Zero, your SEO, getting found online, all that stuff we take care of. And we try to do it in 3 hours. So we start off the first hour with one of the advisors and we set 3 goals. We said, okay, let's try to aim for you guys to import your mail list or set up your your website or whatever it might be. and we try to sort of, at the end of the session, get you to a point where you've actually completed the task that you didn't know how to start before you started with us. So, make sense?
Very good.
Very good.
Awesome. So that's Bob. The next thing I talk about is Victoria Ewan. So Victoria is based in the southwest of Western Australia, so she looks after a lot of our small businesses down in the area and runs a lot of great workshops. Very experienced businesswoman, currently running businesses and many in the past as well. And we have Netta, and so Netta I met yesterday actually. She's a marketing and advertising specialist with lots of experience with business to business and business to customer as well. So she's also someone that's great for digital strategy as well, I would say, yeah. And also just really fun.
It's pretty fun, yeah.
And as Bob said, we've got a lot of advisors based here in Western Australia. So Digital Solutions or Business Station, we have agencies in Western Australia, Northern Territory and Queensland. Yeah. So these are the things about the business we've got here. Yeah, so everything I just said really.
The reason it's so cheap is because it's Commonwealth sponsored, so they take care of basically most of the bill. Yeah. People often go like, how can you put so much value on for $44? And that's what.
Yeah, thanks government. Take advantage of it, I reckon. Okay, cool. How do you know if you're eligible? So if you want to do the Digital Solutions program, you need to have an ABN that is registered in Western Australia, Queensland or the Northern Territory. You need to be in business to make a profit. Why wouldn't you be? And you need to have fewer than 20 full-time staff members. Once again, there's the link. A few reasons why you might think about doing the Digital Solutions program. It's a great opportunity to be proactive, have someone to be accountable to. You can gain some different perspectives or insights into your business from people who've been in business and are running businesses now. It's an opportunity to accelerate your maturity, maybe get your business moving forward a little bit faster than you might not have before. Work on some facets of your business that you may have neglected while you've been actually running your business. I think we're all guilty of that. It's an opportunity to brainstorm some new ideas for your business, tapping into the advisors network. You saw we've got a lot in Western Australia, but also people in different parts of Australia as well. We also run a lot of one-on-one networking sessions as well, which you're welcome to join. And the other thing it gives you access to is to find out about some things that people have already mentioned. What are those government grants that are happening? What funds can you make available to you? And tapping into the knowledge network. So
we've got the weekly webinars as well, where you can basically just jump in and cover topics like how to use Canva, how to run Facebook ads, how to do B2C or B2B. Yeah, all that stuff is basically available for free. It's on the website if you want to go visit that. And you can also browse the advisors. So there's a section about our advisors. There's a little spiel about who is actually working there, what they do, what their experience level is, and you can pick and choose who you want to have a chat with free of charge. And then once you want to register, just head to the homepage, click the register button, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Yeah, and that's pretty much us.
Yes.
Does anyone have any questions? Bob is the best person to answer questions. I'm just the voice.
That's the only reason I have to come on, right? Yeah, any questions?
As the key points from today, so stay in contact with the city and the business development team. So we had to help, not just from the start, but in the middle, and as you get going in your businesses, we had to help. Always assume that you may need an approval. So I think everyone has reiterated that today. So don't just sign on the bottom line. Make sure you know exactly what you're in for, what you need before you do anything. So this is just the start of your journey. So the city is always here to help, and please feel free to contact us. So the city wants to see your business succeed, because obviously the more people we bring into the city, the better it is for everyone. So there's some key contact details for you there, and as I said, it's all in your info packs. But if anyone wants to take a screenshot of the screen, it's all up there for you. So please stay for some morning tea. There'll be some more food coming out in a minute, and please feel free to have a chat. So if you have a look at your name badges, there's a little coloured dot on it. The city's team will be around to have a chat to you. So I've got a blue dot. I know there's some yellow ones and then a few other colours. We had to help, guys. And yes, we will send out some more slides. So we will send them digitally if you don't want to take a massive pack home for you. Don't be shy, we are happy to have a chat. So please hang around, chat to everyone who's had the opportunity to present today, because all of the people in this room are full of unique knowledge. So not everyone knows what everyone else knows, so please make full advantage of the people that are here today. And that is a picture of our beautiful city.
If I can just have one moment, it was brought up earlier regarding drones. My team also does what we call public realm obstruction permits or applications that we assess. Now that's for general works that happen on the roads, footpaths. Also skip bins, if anybody wants to put a skip bin on the public realm, that comes through. Filming for more than 5 people, including cast and crew or anything like that, and also drone flights. So there are restrictions on what drones can actually be flown within the city. Along with CASA, we do not control once the drone is in the air, but we do control the takeoff areas and the safety part of that. So as part of the team, or any questions regarding that, please come and see me. So I can give you on that information, but that's under obstruction permits. And like Clint said, he'll send out the slides, and hopefully this time they'll have mine and all my contacts in through there, just giving a brief explanation. So yeah, by all means, come and see me afterwards.
Cool. Thank you very much, everyone.